Welcome. You're listening to the Digital Soulspace podcast, musings of the metaphysical, magical, and nonsensical. We invite you to open your mind, let your imagination run wild, and to indulge in that which often cannot be explained. Get ready to entertain all your six senses with the official podcast of digitalsoulspace.org, an independent online metaphysical community.
And hey, everybody, welcome to the Digital Soulspace podcast, musings of the metaphysical, magical, and nonsensical. Please welcome our hosts. Our host, Jed Bustos from New Jersey.
Hey.
Welcome, Jen, and of course, the almost famous DJ George Jet.
How you guys doing?
Okay, awesome. We have a cool episode tonight. This is kind of like a really cool episode. We're going to be talking about Miss Cleo, and for those that don't know about her, right, we're actually going to be talking about her. But I do want to play something because last weekend, oh my gosh, the show is starting off great. Last episode we did, Jen was talking about how before the show started, she kept hearing
that's right,
a name. And so I'm actually gonna play that clip so we can hear it. And
of course we have a clip.
Let's give a really quick listen.
So like, had somebody's Aunt Mary come through last night and then this morning. I don't know who Aunt Mary is, but I saw the name written out like in my head. I didn't hear the name and I didn't see the person, but I saw the name. So it's like kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. And
my mother's name is Mary, by the way, so I don't know if anyone has an Aunt Mary that's
yeah,
or
I don't know. And she was
Maria.
holding a green heart.
Oh, interesting. So green heart is perfect because green is the heart chakra, right? The color of the heart chakra.
It gets
better. Let's talk about how people.
That's true. I don't know. That's very true. I didn't. I honestly didn't even give it like a second thought because I've just been so busy with like life. But you're right, heart chakra. So I don't know if this Marian, if she passed
right there. It's amazing because when people often, or when psychics often give readings, a lot of times things don't even chime in. And even with the best of us, like some people that are accustomed to readings and accustomed to doing stuff like that, it didn't even chime in with me. And the thing is my Aunt Marianne actually passed away recently of congestive heart failure. So Jen totally picked up on that, and I'm thinking, sorry, I keep looking over there.
What are you looking at behind
you? Got ghosts over there? What's going on over there?
My dog was jumping on top of the stove.
Why don't you give the dog one of those FUBAR things?
Give the dog a bone.
Okay, so anyway,
give him one of those FUBAR things you gave him last time.
You really nailed it. You really totally nailed it. So I had to play that before we got started with the podcast. That was so really cool when that happened. So anyway, tonight we're talking about Miss Cleo. We are taping live on digitalsoulspace.org. So if you're watching us live, feel free to write in the chat and ask any questions about our topic that we're discussing tonight. So tonight's episode is called Psychic Friends, the real Miss Cleo. And some of you may or may not be familiar with Miss Cleo because it's been 25 years since she's been on TV. So some of you, especially if you're younger, if you're in your 30s,
wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know who she is, right? Miss
What's
Cleo.
funny? I don't even think my daughter knows.
Yeah, and she became popular back in the early 2000s, right when television psychics started really coming about. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna watch a little clip of Miss Cleo real quick so people can actually see her. Now, unfortunately, Miss Cleo did pass away. She passed away in 2016. So she's not with us anymore, but she left a very fascinating and mysterious sort of legacy. So let me just go ahead and I'm gonna play that clip.
Check.
We're gonna here we go.
If you've never had a reading from a real psychic, try us right now for free. Your father had a stroke at a young age, did he not?
Right.
Did you get strep throat a great deal in your late teen years?
Yes, I did.
Okay. His eyes are almost spooky. They're so pretty.
That would be my ex-boyfriend.
The 5 of Swords is next to him, and that means that he is away.
Yep.
Did you think Cleo wasn't going to see that?
Oh, I knew you were.
Oh, you go, girl. 6'2", probably about 240 pounds, right?
Right.
He is married to that one too, and him fool around even more than the other one does.
Right.
Okay, you know that. He doesn't even live in the same area anymore. He moved, didn't he?
Oh my God, yeah.
There is one that...
So that was Miss Cleo, and she's famous
Oh my
for
God.
her. That she's famous for her saying, "Call me now." That's what she said
Yes.
at the end of every
Call me now.
Yeah, call me now. Right
Call
now.
me now. Yes. And she was famous for that. And what ended up happening is the company that she worked for was literally raking in billions of dollars, like literally billions of dollars. And of course, she was the face of the company, but she wasn't. She was being paid as an actress, and that's how I got to meet her. Was I spent 2 days with her. I spent a day in rehearsals, and then we spent a day filming. Yes, George. Did you have a
You
question?
forgot to say that she's on late TV and that you used to call a number, a 1-800 number. Or
Oh yes, thank you.
Forgot
She
all
was
about that.
Yes, she was a television psychic, and if you watch the commercial that I just played, she or heard it. It was a 1-800 number that you used to call, and you would speak to a psychic, and it was this huge call center, and people would pay tons of money to call these call centers and speak to these psychics that were at these call centers, and that's how this company made so much money. And so, and poor Miss Cleo, there's all these rumors going around saying, "Oh no, she went to jail." And the thing about it is, she actually didn't go to jail. When the Federal Trade Commission was looking for a way to get the company, they realized they were able to because Miss Cleo signed all the bills on the bottom and the collection notices. And that's how they went after her. And they figured we'd go after the face of the company and go after her. And so, but she cooperated with the investigation. And the poor thing, she wasn't being paid billions of dollars. She was, just a regular salary,
Yeah.
Florida's a right to work state. So we don't have Screen Actors Guild here. And so she wasn't being paid scale wages for an actress. But she has a mysterious past. And there was a documentary you can all watch, and I really recommend you watch it, on Max. And it's called Calling Miss Cleo. And I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to watch
No,
it.
I actually haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it, but now I know about it.
Yeah. And
No.
I went through such an emotional roller coaster watching it. I watched it with my boyfriend, Anthony. And at first I was like, I'm watching it because I was bringing back memories, because when I met her to do the commercial, she wasn't in front of the cameras yet. She was a consultant and the original commercial that I was, that I met her for was called the Psychic Solutions Hotline. And the talent that I met, in addition to Miss Cleo, I met local DJ by the name of Bo Griffith, and she was there.
Griffin.
Bo Griffin, thank you. And so I'm gonna play that right now. I'm gonna play that commercial so we can watch it, a part of it.
Sometimes a psychic is the perfect one to talk to when love is slipping away.
You told your boyfriend a big secret yesterday.
Oh my God. I told him I'm pregnant.
But you also told him something else. That it's not his baby.
No.
So anyway,
you gotta love the hair though.
Oh my God.
The hair is on point.
So
Absolutely.
Jen, you got competition.
I definitely do. Like, I don't think I can't outdo that.
No, right? And
Absolutely not.
So the show is a very well rehearsed show.
Well, in
As
the
far
beginning,
as the
beginning, it was scripted. In fact, my
scripted.
character was Mike from Detroit. So the one that you just saw with Bo Griffin, sorry.
Yeah.
I was Mike from Detroit, and I don't think I ever got. Actually, I think they cut me out. I can tell you that.
So did they have you call?
I was the only male. No, I had to audition and everything.
Oh my God.
I went to my agent.
Wait, but it was to be a caller, right?
It was to be a caller, but it's a commercial. I got paid.
Oh
for
my
it.
God.
Oh, you were
Yeah.
doing a commercial. Okay, I
was
thought it
doing a
was part of the
commercial.
show. Got it.
It was
It is part of the show,
Yeah.
I think.
my very first gig that I ever had as a paid actor. And I went to a casting director. My agent called me. It's for a psychic commercial. I went to this place. They went ahead and they taped me with this other guy talking to him.
Right.
And then I got a call that said I got the job. And then I showed up for rehearsals. And that's where I met Miss Cleo. She was sitting right next to me. Now, she was not in front of the cameras yet. She was a consultant. And she had like 5 or 6 decks of tarot cards. And her personality was utterly magnetic. Like, she's larger than life. She's like 6'7". Like,
oh wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Really?
6'4", 6'7", incredibly tall. And she's sitting right next to me. And she's going through the cards. And we hadn't started rehearsals yet. And she's shuffling all the cards and stacking them up in piles. And she's like, oh, Scorpios, they'll fight tooth and nail for you, but heaven forbid you screw a Scorpio. I wouldn't want to be you. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, she's so right. I had just ended a relationship with a Scorpio.
No.
Right. And so I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, she's so right. And all of a sudden she turns and looks at me right in the eyes. And she's like, you know what I'm saying is true. And I go, you know, like,
good Lord.
I was just like so blown
It's like
away.
a little
by it.
scary.
Yeah. And so this was part of the thing, is that behind the cameras, she was psychic. She never shut it off. When we were taping the next day, she was handing out her business card. She was getting everybody wanted readings from her because she just walked around the room and she was just telling people about themselves. And it was just like fascinating.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. And I was like,
I always wondered that about her.
Yes. Was she a real psychic? I have to say absolutely yes.
I think the way they marketed her was horrible. Like, I think,
well,
I don't know.
The interesting
I mean, it was the day and age too, and I get that. But
exactly. It was like, over the top. But the interesting thing is if you watch the documentary, when she originally started doing the commercials, it was all scripted. And then she told the director, I just want to read people. Film me reading people. And that's what they did. And so later on, what you're hearing are actual people.
reading.
Now they're
Right.
not actually on the phone. They're probably in the room next door, like I was, with a microphone and
with a headset on or whatever. Yeah.
But she was actually reading people, and that was interesting. So I'm watching this documentary, and it's going from like, oh wow, this is so cool. I remember this. This is, and they have people that are her friends, and they're talking about, oh, it's 2000. She's working behind the scenes and all this. And then they start talking to people that knew her in LA. And the people in LA are like, Miss Cleo was a character she invented at this theater company she worked for. And never sounded like that before.
Oh.
And her real name is Yuri Del Harris. That's her real name.
Wow.
And so apparently Miss Cleo was a character she created. And
was the accent real?
No, it wasn't. But let me tell you, she didn't shut it off. She was always Miss Cleo. And then to make matters worse, in LA, she put together this badass theater performance that people hired her to do with a company.
Right.
And she was paid the money, and then she was supposed to pay the salaries of everyone in the company, right? Because she ran off with the money.
Oh.
Wow.
My God.
Yeah.
So she was like a real thing, but she was also a scam artist.
Who knows? Who knows?
That's the part that I heard.
Right. Like, she is a scam artist, like in because she obviously did that, right? She obviously did those things with the money and everything like that. But at the same time, in the documentary, they go over all the abuse she suffered as a child.
Right.
And then all her friends that know her, that loved her, that were with her when she died, they're like, yeah. Did she lie? Yeah, we think so. But did we love her anyway? Yeah. She had such a personality that nobody cared, apparently, around her. Nobody
my
cared.
God.
Right.
Nobody cared what she did. It was the weirdest thing. The documentary.
It really is weird.
Yeah. And the documentary is called it's called Calling Miss Cleo. Now, and one of the things I thought this was interesting, and maybe Jen, you've seen this before, I don't know, but I've seen it as a child, is that she would go into trance. According to her, by the way, she ended up being a lesbian, and she ended up finding an older lady, and they were living together when she died.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I had no idea.
An older white lady, and all her friends, by the way, were also white. And there's a lady in the documentary that said, of course they're all white, because a black person wouldn't have believed her. So,
oh my,
yeah, it was very
wow.
All this psychology going on in this documentary.
Wow.
But anyway,
that's a lot.
The thing about the trance really fascinated me, because her lover said that she would go into these meditative states and then go into a trance and then become somebody else completely.
Oh, wow.
For like a long time.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of me seeing this as a child. When I was growing up, Santeria was huge in Miami. It still is, but I would see these people at these things called a tambor, where they're drumming.
Yeah,
and
African.
And it's like African drumming. Yeah, and people go into this trance and they're somebody else. And
that's awesome.
Jen, have you ever seen that?
No, actually, I don't think so.
I
really don't think I have.
I went to one.
Oh, you went to one?
Oh my God, you did?
Yeah.
Tell us.
That had to be amazing.
Yeah, but it was when I was a kid, so it was a long time ago.
So
yeah,
really
it's cool.
They
they put candles, flowers and like fruits and stuff, and they pray to the. Hold on a minute, bring my mic down a bit. They pray to their God or their saints or whatever they are, and they dance around with drums. There's like a stack of people playing like bongo drums and and they're chanting and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool. I think the music was really good. I like that.
Yeah. So
that's by the way, that's big in Cuba and Jamaica, Haiti, big time.
Yes.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big time.
Well, Haiti's more voodoo.
But I think it's very similar though.
Well, it's a merging of Catholicism and voodoo.
Oh,
they got voodoo. They got voodoo, and they merged it with Catholicism because of the African slave trade.
Yeah.
The Africans were practicing voodoo, and then the Catholics came along and said you had to get converted, and so it's
that is a big mix.
Yeah, it's Catholicism because a lot of they assigned Catholic names to a lot of the gods. Like, for example, Saint Barbara is also Chango.
Mm-hmm.
So, or
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chango, right? Yeah, I think I got that right. I think. Yeah, Saint Barbara's Chango, I think. But one of the saints is Chango. But the
Santa
African
Barbara
god,
is Chango.
yeah, the
got
African
Yemaya?
god Chango. Yamaya is
You know who that is?
no, who's Yamaya in
I don't know.
Oh, but interesting enough, Papa Legba.
Oh,
It is correct though. It is a real name.
Oh yeah, Papa Legba.
Oh, I believe you.
Ochun. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I know them.
Now there's an African religion called Eurisha. And I'm reaching out to Anthony, who's watching this, because he's very well versed in this with his shamanic background. There's an African religion, Yoruba. Oh, thank you so much. Yoruba. And in Yoruba, this is the African origin of Chango, Yamiya, Obatala, Eligua, all of those. Yeah.
Yeah, those are it.
Those are all the Santeria origins. It's called Yoruba in Africa. They brought it over.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, but it's morphed. But we digressed a little bit, but it was very interesting because
I think we should add that to the end of the show. A little bit of the Santeria part.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
I like that
because there's a lot of history there too.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, George, that you bring that up, is that was one of the appeals that they had a psychologist in this documentary, and she said that the way Miss Cleo dressed, with the wearing the wrap around her head, she dressed like a witch doctor, sort of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that white people in particular were drawn to that because it was added to the mystery, and that
added to the whole experience.
Yeah. And she's from, and she did the Caribbean accent thing, and
she did it so well.
And she never, I never
would have guessed.
The Caribbean accent always threw me away. Like, it threw me off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. There was something.
I don't know. I loved the Caribbean accent.
Like, it didn't.
I don't even know. Like, honestly, I don't even know if I would remember her if it wasn't for that accent.
I think the whole.
Being really honest.
I think the voice, the dressing, the whole thing is a character. So you'll remember the clothes.
Right.
You'll remember. It's everything.
Anthony says it sounded forced.
Right. See.
He said it sounded forced, and that was
but that's probably because that's not her native language.
Oh yeah, no.
So it sounded a little bit forced.
That's what the people that knew her back in LA were saying.
Right.
But she never sounded like that.
Right. Like, I don't sound the way I sound now. I sound completely different. I'm British. I just do this for the show, for the Americans.
You just do it for the American people, everyone.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, George.
No, George. So, but now let's go, because we were talking about Miss Cleo,
right?
Talking about television psychics, and now let's fast forward a little bit. Now television psychics are huge now.
They are.
Yes. But
in a different way, though, I think in a reality TV type way, but not in a call this 1-800 number way.
Do they have those? They don't have that anymore, right?
The Psychic Friends?
Yeah, like where you call,
the company that she works for was forced to shut down.
Got it.
And they were.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them exist. I mean, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, none that are popular like they were when we were growing up.
My sister's friend worked for one.
Really?
Yes. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And what it was is that they had a computer, and it was like a script, and the computer would automatically generate like random stuff to say. and it was
I
totally.
think I know
like,
this person you're talking about.
It starts with an O.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay. It starts with an O, and he used to work for one, and yeah, and it was interesting because by the way, when I went to go film the commercial, part of me was feeling like guilty, like I was, I was kind of feeling, wait a second, I was torn. This is my first acting job, and at the same time, am I doing something that I believe is dishonest? Am I helping?
That makes sense.
And when we got to rehearsals, what they said to us, I found that very interesting. They addressed it right away. They said, you are not ripping off, you are reenacting actual phone calls.
Right.
How crafty.
Yeah.
Do you remember your script by any chance?
Yes.
Oh my God, you do?
I don't remember all the lines, but I knew. I remember. I was
all right.
Michael
So let's set it up. Let's set it up.
Let's do this.
We got to do this.
No, we're doing this.
No, come on.
I was calling for advice.
Come on, Mike.
Anthony, what do you think? Should he do it or not?
No.
Anthony, say yes. Fellow Jerseyan.
Absolutely.
Yes, he said absolutely.
The funny thing is that they kept saying I sounded scripted, and I'm like, have you heard the other girls that are here? Because I was the only guy. I was the only guy.
All right.
And,
oh my God.
And I was like, have you heard the other girls? Because they were horrible. And they're like, but the thing is that I was confused with the script, because they're asking him, they're saying, well, you were cheating on your girlfriend. And there's a part in the line where I'm like, yeah, I sure was. And they said, you sound too proud. You shouldn't be proud of that. And I'm like, the production assistant told me my character was supposed to be proud.
Right.
And they're like, no, do it again. And they're like, so you're cheating on your girlfriend. And I'm like, yeah, I was, and then
they made you change the whole thing, the whole dynamic of it.
I must have recorded that my phone call easily for 45 minutes over and over again.
And over again. Oh, wow. Different tones.
And the director keeps saying, no, I don't like him. No. And the director looks exactly like Richard Belzer.
Oh
God.
Exactly. Wore sunglasses the whole time.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh my God. And all the girls, they all knew the directors. There was 2 of them. And
of course they did.
Yes. They were like, hi, John.
Coffee.
It's horrible. Oh my God. Horrible.
But
that's so funny.
But so I digress. It's so easy to digress with this. Is that we have television psychics today. We have famous ones. Teresa Caputo, right?
Yeah.
Long Island Medium. And then we have John Edward. Now we have this cool kid that just came up recently, and I forget his name, but he didn't know he was reading Bobby Brown. Did you see this? He's on. You can YouTube him. Yeah.
Oh, but we have thank you, and Tyler Henry.
Oh, who's he?
Well, I don't know if he's the kid that you're talking about, but he is this kid that he's got a show on Netflix, I think.
Oh, and he's blonde?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person to recall details.
Oh, Anthony says that's him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's
I've watched his show. He's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's also oh my God, why can't I think of his name right now? He's like before John Edwards' time. He's like one of the first psychics, not psychics, rather. I'm sorry, mediums.
James Van Prague.
James Van Prague. Thank you. I have his books all over my house.
Anthony says Walter Mercado.
All over my house.
Walter Mercado. Mucho amor. So I work with a lady, or I volunteered with a lady who was best friends with Walter Mercado. And
really?
Yes. And she adored him. And she saw the documentary about him too. And she actually got upset because she's like, she says they downplayed him, that he was so much more fabulous. But it was like certain facts that were upsetting to her that they, for I guess for purposes of continuity or whatever, they would omit or they
Probably.
would, you know, like stuff
Well,
like
that's the thing with reading on TV like that is I don't think it's possible for you to get 100% authenticity. You're
Well,
not,
you're
you know,
absolutely right. And that's a good thing to bring up, Jen, is that when you're watching Teresa Caputo, you're watching 4 minutes of what? An hour-long reading.
right.
So
And no,
you
don't
watch
get me
her.
wrong. I have heard she's phenomenal, and I actually did go see her at the Beacon Theater. She was incredible.
Okay.
However, reality TV is reality TV, and it's reality, but it's altered.
Right.
And you're seeing only pieces and snippets of something that's a million lives long, you know, so you're not getting a full picture. You're not getting a full picture of what you're seeing.
Well, you're getting like 4 minutes of her nailing it.
Right.
You know, and you're like
what's happening in the other 56 minutes? Like
56 minutes, you know. And we do, you know, when I do readings, it's not one after another, like bam, bam, bam. It's so much talking.
Unless you're doing a gallery reading.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a gallery reading, then that's a completely different story because those are very short readings. You're just spitting out as much information as you can within a short time period. So then you can go to another client. And try and get, as many people as you're comfortable with. But even doing full length sessions, me personally, I've never done more than 4 in a day. And that's a lot. I was exhausted.
Wow.
I was wiped out. I'm sorry, we're getting a visit here.
Oh my God.
No, we're not.
Oh
my buddy. It's only Milo.
That's like Milo in the elevator.
It's only my Milo, my little buddy. But yeah, full length clients, a full session, like hour to hour and a half long sessions. No, I would never do more than 4 in a day.
I can't.
And again, that's maxing myself out. Now I know other people who do more than that.
Wow.
Yeah, because they just do it all day.
Yeah,
every day.
I've done 2 in one day.
And 4 is a lot.
Yeah, well, I did 2 in one day, and I was like dying.
Yeah. No, I think I slept for 2 days after that one day. And there was this also highly psychotic day where I gave mini readings. I gave mini readings, but I did 7. It was the first anniversary after my husband passed. And I really needed to stay busy on our wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
It was my first wedding anniversary without him, and I needed to stay really busy. So I booked, and it would have been 17 years. So I was psychotic enough to book myself 17 appointments in one day. All mini reads, of course.
Right.
But can I just stress enough? 17 of them, I slept for 2 days.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, no.
I slept for 2 days almost straight. I was done. It was worth it. It was worth it because I did it and I got through that day. And I spent the whole day in spirit. But whew, that was a lot. I'll never do that again.
You just reminded me because when I first met you, Jen, I was doing 2-hour gallery readings every Friday night. Do you remember?
Oh my God, yes.
It was from 9 to 11 p.m. every Friday night.
See, you can kind of do that with gallery readings, but
it's like 15
that's a lot.
People, and it was
that's
15
a lot.
People, and Debbie would always be my list.
That's
taker.
right.
Yes. She would always write everybody's name down. And, oh my gosh. And I remember I read one.
So exhausting.
It was exhausting. And I remember because Jen, that's when you actually gave me really good advice back then, because I had read somebody that is difficult to read, because when you're reading them, they come back to you with a lot of emotional stuff and they're like laying it on you and you're not prepared because it's a gallery reading. It's public and you're not prepared for the information that most people would keep private, and they just bam laid it on me and one after another, and you reached out to me afterwards and you said you handled that really well, because that's hard. George, have you
Yes.
ever had a reading? Did
No.
we ask him this? No, we didn't ask him this last time.
No, I have not.
I don't think so. I think we asked him on the Geek with Muscles podcast, maybe, if he ever actually had a reading, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I read George's friend. George, we did a live Facebook reading once and I read your friend.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was a
How did that go?
Reading. It went well. It went really well. That was a good short reading. Yeah.
Good.
That was good. That was really well. So one of the things about the television psychics that I personally, my favorite television psychic is, I think, John Edward, because I've seen him in person. And
I saw him in person too.
And he was mind-blowing. He was better in person than he was on TV, which is usually not the case.
Oh, he was unbelievable in person. I could sit and watch that guy for hours.
Yeah, no. And he did this thing where this was the freakiest thing, was that he kept saying that the spirit that wanted to talk to somebody in that particular row. And he kept saying, it's in this row. And they weren't standing up. They weren't raising their hand. And then he goes, okay, I'm going to embarrass somebody, but I have to. And he goes, who here was arrested for arson? And she stood up and the whole audience went, oh
my God.
Yes. And it turned out, this is the funny thing. She says, I don't know who you are, and started crying. And it turned out that she got the ticket from a friend of hers in a cancer support group and couldn't make it because she was sick that day. And said,
oh my God.
So all the messages, the reason they weren't resonating with her, they were for the woman.
They were for her.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is incredible. I love that.
Because it was amazing. And
I love that.
It was this dog.
What is he doing?
He's trying to get my dinner off the stove.
Crafty little guy. He knows daddy's busy.
A crafty little guy.
I know he's not going to get up now. He's doing a podcast.
He knows.
Yes. No, he does. So let me see here for a second, because so we've been going at this a while. So before we close out, Miss Cleo, nobody knew about who she was as a child. Nobody. They don't know any relatives. Nothing. It's all.
Wow.
They still don't know anything about that.
What about the girlfriend or whatever?
The one who was her lover?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What happened to her?
She's still around.
Yeah, but doesn't she have information?
Right. She doesn't have any information.
No. Nobody knows anything about her.
Really?
About her childhood.
I think
apparently she was.
I don't think that's true. I think there's got to be somebody that knows something, but maybe just respects her so dearly that will just take it to her grave. Right. I don't believe that there's not a person left on the face of the planet
that doesn't know who she was.
Doesn't know. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
They can't.
But I respect. I think that people having enough respect and love for her to take that to the grave, I think says a lot.
Yes. And maybe it's a testament to her personality, because all these people, they actually believe that, yeah, she probably was lying, but she probably isn't Miss Cleo. They believe that part, but they didn't care. They absolutely adored her. The other thing I wanted to bring up is and they touched upon it briefly, or I think they did in the documentary, is the possibility that she had, because she said that she had severe trauma growing up, is that perhaps she had DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. And that she might have been Miss Cleo and really felt like she was Miss Cleo. And who knows? Who knows? It was really sad. It was really sad.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me because I would love, it would be amazing if she was still alive because I just feel like mental health has come so far in the last couple decades that, I wonder if I don't know, she just would have been better understood.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It would have been, it's a shame. She died of colorectal cancer in 2016. And I used to have a photo of her on my cubicle at work. There's this black and white photo of her with her big smile. And truly, her personality was truly magnetic and still really an enigma because there's so much that people don't know about her.
Right.
And yeah, and there was stuff that, she was, I think she really was a psychic. I really believe that.
Well, I mean, if she could lay out a spread of cards, let's put it this way. If she could lay out a spread of cards and speak beyond them and speak between them, does that make sense to you?
It makes complete sense. I love that.
If she could do that, then chances are she was a gifted woman. And
I love that.
George, did you get what I just said?
Yes.
And as opposed to just reading the cards, because anybody can do that. And now anybody can actually learn to enhance their intuition by doing that. You can actually use the cards as an intuition enhancing tool. That's a conversation for another day, though. But you can just read the cards and you can tell a very accurate story. But it's when you can speak beyond them and speak between them.
Right.
And see something that you can't see in front of your face in that moment. That takes more than just memorizing a deck of cards.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. And
so I think that's the answer. I think at the end of the day,
I love that answer. I love it. You said that.
If you're telling me that she could go in the back room and lay out a spread and go to town, you know what I mean? Then I feel like, then yeah, the answer to that is yes.
When she was sitting next to me, it was interesting because we were going over the script and she was correcting the script as we would go along. And she said, "Oh no, the 2 cups does not mean that." She goes, "That's not the 2 of cups. That would be I forget which. I remember it was the 2 cups though." But she was she was like, "That's not what the 2 cups means. What you're talking about is this and that." And so she spot on. She had like 5 decks. And what she would do is, I think as the script was going on, she was using different decks and looking at the cards and seeing how they arranged. But yeah, it's a sad story, still a mystery. But I thought
it is sad. It's sad that nobody knows more, and it's also sad that, I mean, for the obvious reasons.
Yeah, I'm going to check out the documentary.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to check out the documentary.
You have to.
I definitely want to watch it. I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, I went through such a roller coaster of emotions. First, like excited, and then I'm like, "Oh my God, she's a con artist! Oh my God, I can't believe!" And then I'm like, "Oh my God, how sad!" So I by the time the thing was over, I was so sad for her.
Right.
And but at the same time, I almost felt like, okay, she's even more. Like, I'm so glad I had the opportunity to meet with her and work with her for 2 days, and I got to incredible. I got to experience her personality, which was truly, truly, magnetic. And she had this air about her. Although I have to admit, there was something dark about her that I was trying to put my finger on. I was like, there's something bothering me about her.
And now you know why.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But yeah, really.
That probably is it.
Yeah. Such a cool documentary. I really recommend.
And you never know, if she really did have DID, that could have been the personality that ruined it all for her. Who knows?
This is true.
I mean, I guess it's all speculatory at this point, but
completely true.
All very debatable topics.
Absolutely. And before we close out, tonight is the new moon. The new moon occurs at 11:37, I think, tonight on the East Coast.
I think so.
PM 11 there. And Jen, did you want to do a little meditation? The new moon.
Yeah,
The
I'll
new
do a
moon-
little impromptu meditation.
Yes, the new moon, by the way, is a time of receiving, and so
Yes, and
it's
so that is how I am going to center this.
okay. So
All right. So if
George,
everybody
you
can
ready?
just, George, you're going to meditate with us too.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. Everybody just take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to bring your attention all the way down your body to the bottom of your feet. And imagine that growing out of your feet are roots that are getting planted into the earth deeper and deeper. And as these roots grow, you become one with the earth. Deeper and deeper. And just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And one more time, breathe in and breathe out. With your roots still in place, slowly bring your energy all the way back up, bringing that beautiful earth energy with it, feeling it travel back up your legs, your thighs, your hips and your stomach, up your arms, through your heart, up through your throat chakra, up through your third eye, and just let it burst out of your crown chakra into the heavens like a beautiful white light. And let it extend as far up until you feel a resistance. And when you feel that resistance, take another deep breath in and out. And know that that resistance is the new moon energy. In this moment, you're in the primal energy to manifest. You're in the primal energy to release all your fears, all your I don't knows, all your stress, all your trauma. Now is the time to release. And allow the new moon energy to now filter back in through your crown, all the way down your face, where it settles into your solar plexus, down your arms, back down your legs, and back into the earth. In this moment, you're connected to both the earth and the divine. Anything you want is yours. Start to feel your existence travel back up into your eyes, where you start becoming more aware of your body and your surroundings. Breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
That was so good.
Was it? How was that for you, George?
That was
That's good.
That was excellent.
I just zenned myself out. We should have done that in the beginning.
I know, right? Oh
It's
my
okay. I'm
gosh.
ready for bed after this. No, we're good. We're good.
Well, that was fun. I
We're
just
good.
had a funny memory when
What was that?
I was like 16 or 17. George and I had a sleepover at a friend's house, and we were doing this self-hypnosis tape.
Oh my God.
And I decided it would be hysterical
Good Lord.
if while everyone was in
Oh,
their
no.
deepest state that I would start screaming bloody murder.
Yep.
George, do you remember this?
No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
Who's not gonna remember that? Come on.
Everybody's like,
No,
It was
you did
so-
not.
it was so hard for me. I could barely move because this tape was such a good meditation. I was 16
Wait,
or
so
17.
is that what you were thinking about through my whole meditation, though?
No, just when you said open your eyes and I saw George there. I thought of it and I thought, oh my God, it was so hard to do too because I was so relaxed. And all of a sudden and it's like probably midnight, right? And we're all laying down, the lights are off, and we're
Yep.
all doing this. And I start
No, I can't believe you did that.
He did. And
George!
and I'll tell you what, that's something I would
George, did he scare the SHIT out of you?
Everybody. Everybody. Because it's not it was expected that I would do that, but not him.
Meanwhile, you're like
Oh my
all
gosh.
quiet and meditating.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Good job, Mike. Good
I
job.
was
Good
a
job, Mike.
teenager, and so that was a 40 years, no, 35, 36 years ago. Oh, so
You guys are old, man.
No, I'm younger.
I'm
than
like
you guys.
literally right behind you. I don't like. I'm just being an ass right now.
But anyway, well, I want to thank everybody for that seems really loud.
No, it's fine.
I think it was fine.
After
Oh,
the
okay,
meditation,
after-
yeah.
Probably louder
after-
for you.
Yeah, it's because the meditation you did was really good.
That's true.
So,
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank everybody
really
for
good.
listening and watching, and this was an interesting kind of episode because it was kind of like about a story more than it was, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I thought
Yeah.
it would be an interesting topic to talk about.
I liked it.
I think we need to add the Santeria one in there. I think
I
that's
really
to have
love
a
that.
Santeria podcast.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh,
And I can talk
interesting.
about the music.
Santeria
Okay.
podcast. I love that.
Okay, definitely something
I
to
mean-
think about for our next one. And
Yeah.
thank you everybody. And we have to have I was thinking we could have like a what do you call it, like a on the Geek with Muscles we have a doorbell when someone comes in or something, and but for like this podcast we need some other type of bell when somebody comes in, like
Oh my God, church bells.
yeah,
The church bells.
Anyway, well, thank you everybody for listening, for watching, and thank you to my co-hosts Jen Bustos and DJ George Chat.
Yeah.
And thank you guys very much. And
Yes.
good night, everybody.
Good night.
This was so much fun. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Digital Soul Space podcast. We hope we didn't scare you off, and that you'll visit us again as we explore the unseen together. Don't forget, you can join the conversation anytime by visiting digitalsoulspace.org, an independent online metaphysical community.